Hi, this is Kasian, and it's time for our weekly conference call at VectorspaceAI. Before we begin, this will be an abbreviated call as we've had a high level of activity over the last week. And we'll combine global and industry sections. The first headline is that after a successful launch on Wednesday, the first space crew with no professional astronauts aboard is circling the Earth. For updates, you can do a search on SpaceX Inspiration 4 updates. The crew is headed back on Sunday. On another note, but related, biologists rethink the logic behind cells, molecular signals. This is an area that we work pretty closely in. And we will just simply mention under themes and events that the VXV thematic basket channel is available to anyone who would like to observe themes being tracked as well as plays. On the corporate side, we are putting together a compliance team, and that means we'll be doing a bit of hiring there. And we're continuing hiring in other areas. And everything else is in process on the legal side, and that includes our move into the US. Everything is going very well. And engineering, product QA, and ops, everything is on track. Again, this is an abbreviated update, but we will mention that under our Space Biosciences side, we've got meetings with University College London next week, and we also have received our collaboration proposal from the Imperial College of London. And the proposal was pretty thorough and very interesting. We won't get into the details here, but what we can say is that it's going to be based on drug discovery and materials engineering. And under drug discovery, I'll just read the first paragraph. Novel drug targets in mitophagy pathways. The canonical mitophagy pathway, pink-parkin, is well known due to links with Parkinson's disease. And under materials engineering, we have some materials projects in development where we use cryo-EM and machine learning methods to analyze lipid nanoparticles and viral vaccine particles and their protective effects on DNA stability. This could be an interest going forward. Next, it's mentioned that benefits to VectorspaceAI. This will be a two-way partnership and this collaboration will add value in the following ways to our side here. And there are 5 points. First, formal recognition in publications. Second, formal recognition on Imperial College London web pages. New Data Science Institute at ICL, just formed, Imperial X, that's its name. And it's going to engage with new partners. So we'll be engaging with them as a new partner, that particular new data science group. And fourth, press releases from ICL. And fifth, opportunities for further collaboration and knowledge exchange. For example, PhD research experience for VectorspaceAI and staff and interns. So we'll have more details on how this proposal is going to unfold, how this collaboration is going to unfold. And interestingly, we'll be also collaborating with UCL on a few different levels, but similar, all related to space biosciences. Next, we've got customers, partners, and collaborators. And we just went over details related to our recent collaboration updates, so I won't include any of our formerly mentioned collaborators, but we do have new collaborators that we'll be announcing soon. Under corporate strategy, corporate development, business development, sales and marketing, everything is still related to the trading show prep. We've got a lot of work that we've got to clear so that we can be very well prepared in what we're going to be talking about in Chicago. And primarily, it's going to be based on correlation matrix data sets. And Under exchanges, everything is in process. Under IR, PR, and Marcom, we just described work with ICL on that, and more to come, obviously, before, during, and after the trade show. Next, we've got questions from the trader base. First question, how is Vectorspace currently funding the operation? Friends and family rounds initially. We'll be engaging with a few new partners on strategic investment and a few existing partners, as many of them have multiple investment arms. Question 2. Hey team, I'm curious to know what makes you think this project can stand up against data aggregating companies that exist off the blockchain. I see where they are coming from, but most sizable funds already have these kinds of data aggregating systems. These hidden relationships just sound like positive and inverse correlation calculators, which is one of the most frequently employed strategies at HFT firms. Well, let's make some corrections to these statements here. The first is that we do not engage in data aggregation. We algorithmically generate correlation matrices based on language models. So most sizable funds that have already, or that you mentioned that have already used these data aggregating systems, it's true, they use data aggregating systems, but they do not use correlation matrix datasets based on language models where you extract and tree vectors to extract and detect hidden relationships. And not just in the financial markets. We got started in the space biosciences space. Question 3, why did your trading algorithms fail when you raised capital for the first time? How is this different this time? They never failed. So there's your answer. They attracted the attention of Apple, Warner, and EMI. And they also enabled us to list as a U.S. publicly traded company, fully filing, and make our investors millions. Question 4, are there any companies owned by the founders or executives of VectorspaceAI benefiting from the patented or unpatented technologies that facilitate the services that VectorspaceAI provides? And the answer is yes. Question 5, Gensler's statement to the U.S. Senate contains a section on regulating predictive analytics. What steps is Vectorspace taking to manage and prevent systemic risk? Well, anyone would have a very hard time regulating math. So the predicted analytics referred to for regulation would have nothing to do with our operation. In terms of systemic risk, we've traded through environments that have incurred systemic risk. When Bear Stearns first fell in 2008, that was one event, and we've had a few others. To trade around systemic events usually means you've got to go short. So we have thematic baskets that are 100% short. So that's in part how we solve for that. We can de-risk. Question 6, does VXV have a legal/ethics team? Yes, and we're building out our compliance team. Question 7, is there anywhere we can see the processing of data in real time? I noticed on the website that the last data from the log was the 31st of April. And we believe this question was answered on one of our public channels. However, we can give you the answer again here. It is vectorspaceAI port 4000. Question 8. There are questions that these partnerships you mentioned, S&P, Morningstar, 10 hedge funds, Morgan Stanley, Jane Street, etc., were mentioned in conference calls months ago, but have not yet transpired. From a project standpoint, what would be your response to these critics regarding the slow nature of these conversations? Well, we can't answer it from a project statement because we're a company. So what we can say is that the quickest path to consequential revenue is a highly dynamic process. It does not just involve an A to B line when it comes to connecting with a group inside of a large multi-billion-dollar company that would like to get to know us because they may want to invest in us. This is a long process. It's like dating for quite a long time. And we are very interested in moving at their pace, but sometimes when they are ready, we then have to move at the pace of our engineering resources, available engineering resources. So that slows us down a little bit. But another thing that slows us down is a lot of these groups want to talk to us. So we've got them queued up right now. And our important collaborations with UCL and ICL, along with Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and other collaborators we've mentioned in the past, these are key to unlocking solutions in the financial markets. When you look at what we've done with Datasets in the past in Space Biosciences, we have learned in an interdisciplinary way, things within Space Biosciences, all of life sciences that we've applied to the financial markets, and that's why we're here right now. Most groups, we've also noticed that most groups would love to mimic what we do because what we do is special and extremely rare. And we would do the same. We would try and copy data sets that were produced instead of purchase them. We expect them to do that, especially if they have NLP engineering teams, and especially if they have NLU engineering teams. And what we've noticed is that most funds, most of our customers in the financial markets, and partners and collaborators do not operate in the NLU space. We haven't found one that does. We haven't found one that's been able to do what we have done as we've talked to their NLP data engineers and some have had NLU engineers and NLG engineers. But it's an extremely rare experience for a customer or partner in the financial markets to be familiar with natural language understanding and extracting vectors and making correlation matrix so you can predict where components go. We, most of the time, walk them through that process without giving them details that might compromise us. Question 9, what if spoken and written languages can be condensed into a single core phonetic root? What impact would that have in assisting vector space? Well, any added structure helps if it improves the signal-to-noise ratio for us. Question 10, so when it comes to wash trading, artificially increasing volume on an exchange, how does Qcoin hold up? I'm asking those that are more sophisticated than me. Do we see a lot of wash trading with Qcoin to improve their volume? We've talked with Qcoin about this issue, and it is one of the issues that we've faced with lots of exchanges, and that is they're either not direct or honest about their wash trading. Qcoin mentioned that they try to keep it to a minimum. We felt that was an honest answer, and that's why we're moving forward with them. And finally, we have our strategy section, and we have 2 points. We'll be engaging in capital raising on the equity side, and likely within the next few weeks. We look to close as soon as possible on the equity side. Engaging in capital raising is something that takes about 40% of my time and a few other team members' time in the company. And finally, UCL and ICL, University College London, Imperial College of London. Our collaborations will be key. In an interdisciplinary way, as mentioned, they're going to unlock new products and solutions in the financial markets, but more importantly, we're going to understand how to better protect and repair human DNA and regenerate tissue without causing cancer. That concludes our weekly call. We encourage everyone, if they have any questions, to join us online. Thank you.